We are now in the midst of a transfer window, and Celtic are closing in on their second signing of the summer, whilst also being linked to a handful of players. In today's video though, we are going to discuss Jota, as a Celtic expert has come out and suggested that the player could command the club £25 million and season exit plan in place. Not only that though, we will also go over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for daily Celtic content. In light of recent speculation linking him to a potential move to Tottenham Hotspur, Celtic star striker Kyogo has delivered a firm response, stating he is fully focused on his current club. The Scottish Premiership Player of the Year has been making headlines not just for his impressive performances on the field, but also for the increase in rumours of a transfer to Spurs under the management of his former boss Ange Postecoglou. However, Kyogo has remained tight-lipped about any possible move, choosing to focus on the present rather than speculating about the future. The Celtic striker responded to a question on his future saying, "No comment, the future will bring what the future brings. I am only thinking about doing my best for the club I belong to now." Currently back in his home country for the summer, Kyogo along with his Celtic teammate Kobayashi made an appearance at a public training session of his former club Vissel Kobe. Crowds watched on as the Celtic duo geared up for pre-season, with the striker taking very little time to rest just off the back of a period with his international side. Celtic could sell Jota for £25 million this summer. Speaking exclusively to Football Insider, Celtic legend Frank McAvenny said that although he has heard people talking about Jota joining Ajax, there is no way the Dutch side will spend that much on one player. The 24-year-old joined Celtic permanently last summer after a successful season-long loan spell in the 2021-22 season, where the club regained the Scottish Premiership trophy. The winger put pen to paper on a 5-year deal and cost a reported £6.5 million from Benfica, after the club triggered their option to buy. The Portuguese ace is one of many Celtic names tipped to depart Parkhead this summer and follow former boss Ange Postecoglou south of the border. McAvenny has floated Ajax as one of the clubs interested in Jota, but insisted he won't leave this summer. He said, "They are talking about Jota going to Ajax for £25 million. It will be fun and games in the next couple of weeks to see who was coming in and who was going out. I think Jota will stay at Celtic for another season at least, but is definitely destined for the top and could play in the Premier League. The fee of £25 million is about right, but as I said, he will stay for another season." Jota made 43 appearances for the Celtic across all competitions in the 2022-23 season. Celtic hero Chris Sutton has got another reaction from Rangers attacker Todd Cantwell. After another trophyless season at Ibrox, you'd have thought the Rangers playing squad would have been keeping their heads down this summer. Celtic have won 5 of the last 6 major trophies in Scotland, so our rivals may be best served staying quiet. However, social media loving Cantwell seems to have taken the opposite approach. On Tuesday evening, seemingly out of the blue, he took to his Twitter, replying to a Scottish football post asking who the best pundit in Scottish football is. Cantwell replied saying, "I can tell you it isn't Chris Sutton." The English pair both have Norwich City in their past, but they don't seem to see eye to eye on much else. Sutton and Cantwell have clashed in the media before, and it seems that the Ibrox attacker is unable to avoid having his say. Even in defeat to Celtic in April, he took to Instagram to claim his side had lost the game, they didn't win it. Of course this will be music to Sutton's ears, just like with Michael Bill, he seems to have the Ibrox figure on a string. It's hard to imagine that any current Celtic player would react to something Chris Boy said in the media. We simply keep our mouths shut and do our talking on the pitch. Cantwell and Rangers seem to specialise in doing theirs online. There is plenty of evidence to demonstrate just how impactful Alistair Johnston has been in a Celtic shirt, but perhaps most telling is the fact that no one really talks about Joshua Bujanovic all that much anymore. Johnston had a friendly-ish difficult act to follow in replacing the Croatian international when an impressive World Cup campaign landed him a move to Union Berlin. Johnston himself was in Qatar with Canada and knew he was taking over from a special player, but 3 winners' medals from only 20 appearances suggest that the 24-year-old right-back has done something right since arriving in Glasgow from CF Montreal. And as he prepares for life under new manager Brendan Rodgers, Johnston feels ready to take his game to another level next season. "It's been a great fit for me," he insisted. "No matter who is coming in, and Tony Ralston has done a great job at fullback. I like how I've played so far, but I think there's another level to come with my game. I think Josip, when you look at what he's doing at Union Berlin, he's been unbelievable. He was a special player for Celtic. To even earn a move like that says all about him. Look, I think there's still levels to my game that I haven't shown yet, and that's kind of exciting for me." From the outside looking in, you'd think Johnston has strolled life in Scottish football so far, but he revealed it hasn't all been plain sailing. He revealed that former manager Ange Postecoglou predicted that the first 6 months would be a real test, as he adapted to the inverted fullback role, which proved to be so effective during the now Tottenham's boss time in the SPFL, but that Johnson would reap the benefits of a full pre-season this summer. There could now be another adjustment period for Johnson as Rodgers implements his vision for a new-look Celtic, but Johnson feels settled and credits his coaches and colleagues for supporting him through that bedding-in period. Postecoglou told me the first 6 months would be difficult, a new system and a completely different way to play the position, Johnson recalled. But he felt once I got a pre-season under my belt, I'll be feeling a lot more comfortable, and I am feeling that. As well as people think in the outside world that it's gone, there still have been difficulties and struggles in the system, but I'm lucky I've got a really good group of guys and coaching staff to help me. Fellow fullbacks Ralston and Greg Taylor have been especially important in Johnson's transition. He revealed that the pair have shown him the ropes, despite it rarely having looked like the former Nashville SC defender needed much in the way of guidance. Johnson believes he's had it comparatively easy when he considers the significant adjustment which faced Celtic's influx of Japanese stars. He points out that the likes of Kyogo, Hatate, Maeda and others were dropped into a completely different culture where they didn't speak the language. Johnson, by contrast, admits he's never once felt out of place in Scotland. Tony, Greg, all those guys have shown me the ropes, he said. They've helped make the transition as easy as possible. Coming to a country where I don't feel out of place also has helped. The year before, they had said that the Japanese guys had come over in a similar situation. Having played a full season and then come into the SPFL, it was difficult. They had to learn a whole new language and culture. But for me, growing up in a British household that speaks English, it wasn't really a big transition. Celtic had a sizable squad in 2022-23 season, and it was fully utilised. Numerous players were terrific throughout the campaign, and others were on form for certain spells. Aaron Moy falls into the category of the latter. Between mid-January and mid-March, the Australian went on a run of form that few in Scotland could match at the time. In a run of 9 games, the Australian scored 3 goals and assisted 6, averaging a goal contribution every 61 minutes. This record was vastly prodigious, and the 32-year-old more than played his part in the Celtic's treble. Now, though, his future is up in the air. Previous reports had stated Moy was going to retire amid Ange Postecoglou's departure from Celtic, although a recent update from Football Scotland has said that although he is considering his own future and that hanging up his boots is a possibility, no decision has been made yet. Celtic fans will be hoping Moy continues to keep playing, as some of his form when he got going last season was top tier. Moreover, he is an experienced player in a predominantly youthful squad, which is extremely beneficial. Nevertheless, it is his decision at the end of the day, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens come pre-season. Celtic fans, how much is Jota worth, and do you see him being sold this summer? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of the video, guys. Make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. Thank you, take care, bye bye.